Today, we're turning our attention to the bustling and dynamic eastern part of the United States. From the vibrant streets of New York City to the historical charm of Boston and the sprawling landscapes of the Carolinas, there's a lot happening in the skies above. The weather in this region is bringing a chill that you won't want to underestimate. Layer up, grab those cozy scarves, and don't forget your gloves. It's the perfect time to show off your winter fashion. But that's not all. Keep a close eye on the weather updates because there's a chance of unexpected shifts, whether it's snow flurries dusting the city streets or brisk winds sweeping through coastal areas. The eastern U.S. is full of surprises. Hot cocoa or a warm cup of coffee will be your best companion today. So whether you're braving the outdoors or enjoying the views from indoors, stay warm, stay safe, and don't let this chilly weather catch you off guard. This upcoming weather pattern is shaping up to bring the coldest temperatures of the season, with 2 waves of Arctic air expected to arrive next week. Let's take a broader look this morning at the Northern Hemisphere. Currently, moderately cooler air is in place across the lower 48 states, but temperatures are likely to warm slightly as we move deeper into the work week. However, attention will shift northward where true Arctic air is already building. This air mass is set to move southward, likely entering the lower 48 by Friday, bringing significantly colder air, especially this weekend and into next week. If you're new to the channel and enjoy detailed weather breakdowns, hit the subscribe button for daily updates that will keep you ahead of the storm. Friday's setup, the first Arctic blast. As the week progresses, temperatures will trend warmer across the southern regions as south winds return. However, the true Arctic air mass will begin to descend into Montana, gaining momentum as it moves through the Central Plains. This air mass is expected to deliver the coldest conditions of the season by the weekend, and there are even indications that temperatures could become brutally cold. This Arctic air intrusion will also bring some lift, which could trigger snow showers in its wake. By Friday and Saturday, snow is likely to develop across Montana and Colorado, extending further south as the cold intensifies. This is a rare event, as air masses of this magnitude don't occur every year. A strong 1,053 millibar ridge of high pressure in Canada will reinforce the cold, pushing it southward and eventually eastward. Snowfall potential. Looking ahead to January 18th to 20th, the jet stream's path provides insight into where snowfall might occur. Areas north of the storm track will be most favorable for snow showers as the disturbance pushes south. The Climate Prediction Center has already highlighted the potential for heavier snow in this period, with impacts likely in Colorado, New Mexico, northern Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Arkansas, Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, and even parts of the Northeast, including Ohio, West Virginia, Pennsylvania, upstate New York, and New England. Arctic blast. Details. By Sunday, the Arctic air will fully assert itself, bringing anomalies of 30 to 40 degrees below average to some areas. January is already the coldest month of the year, but this event will compound the chill, making conditions exceptionally brutal. This true Arctic air mass originating from the North Pole will continue pushing southward, potentially reaching as far as Mexico. For example, Denver could see high temperatures drop to -1 degrees Fahrenheit by Sunday, a rare occurrence. If this happens, it will be the first time since December 1990 that Denver recorded a sub-zero high temperature. This is rare territory, folks. The last time we saw temperatures this cold was in 1893, so we're looking at potentially brutal conditions. By Sunday, high temperatures might not even reach the teens in the Texas Panhandle, which highlights the density of this true Arctic air. For instance, temperatures could be 19 degrees Fahrenheit in Missouri, 19 degrees Fahrenheit in Illinois, and 23 degrees Fahrenheit in Indiana. The main brunt of this intense Arctic air, driven by a 1,053 millibar high-pressure system parked over the Rockies, will bring brutally cold conditions. As this Arctic air mass descends, a low-pressure system may develop far to the south, possibly even south of Texas. If that occurs, it would take a southerly track, potentially bringing winter precipitation, including snow, to areas not typically affected. The European and ECOM weather models support this scenario, suggesting a low-pressure system could develop in South Texas, track through the southeast, and eventually move up the eastern seaboard. This setup could lead to significant snowfall across the region. Climate Prediction Center highlights snow potential. The Climate Prediction Center has already identified the potential for heavier snowfall through January 20th. Model guidance indicates favorable conditions for snow in Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Louisiana, as well as farther east into Mississippi, Alabama, and the southeast. The combination of this Arctic air and a potential storm track could result in snow reaching as far south as Louisiana and Mississippi, which is an uncommon occurrence. Extreme cold next week. By Monday, temperatures could plummet to dangerous levels. For example, Denver might experience an actual low of negative 34 degrees Fahrenheit, not including wind chills. In the Texas Panhandle, highs could struggle to rise above 2 degrees Fahrenheit, which is exceedingly rare. Oklahoma City might see highs of just 13 degrees Fahrenheit, underscoring the intensity of this Arctic outbreak. A 1,061 millibar high pressure system is expected to establish over Wyoming, driving bone-chilling cold across much of the central U.S., reinforcing cold with a second Arctic blast. As the first Arctic blast takes hold between Saturday and Wednesday, a second wave of Arctic air could arrive by Thursday, further reinforcing the already frigid conditions. This second wave could bring additional snow and colder anomalies to areas already impacted, extending into Kentucky, Virginia, and West Virginia, with the cold even pushing into Mexico. The central U.S. and deep south will experience well below average temperatures, while South Florida might escape the worst of it. Winter precipitation for uncommon areas. The storm track suggests wintry precipitation could reach areas that rarely experience snow or ice. If the low pressure system tracks as forecasted, then the southeast could see snow or ice, adding to the week's weather challenges. The deep southward penetration of Arctic air makes this a truly exceptional event. Current conditions and short-term forecast. As of this Monday, colder air is moving through the Great Lakes region, while parts of the central and eastern U.S. will experience a bit of a warm-up. However, as we head into next week, another blast of cold air is expected, influenced by the polar vortex. While the term polar vortex has gained media attention over the past decade, it's a real meteorological phenomenon. This cold air will move eastward, and I believe there's still a solid chance for snow in the south, as well as potential impacts in the northeast. Snow chances and model guidance. The operational model runs are showing different scenarios compared to the ensemble guidance, which uses averages from over 50 members. For example, operational models are currently not showing much snow in Texas. However, the ensemble guidance indicates a 20 to 30% chance of more than an inch of snow in East Texas, Arkansas, and parts of Mississippi. Further north, Missouri and Oklahoma show a 40 to 50% chance. In the Northeast, areas like Boston have over a 60% chance of snow, particularly along the coast. This snow is expected to develop heading into Monday, with another potential storm bringing snow to the south next week. Lake effect snow is already occurring, and Arctic high pressure will lead to frigid overnight temperatures through Wednesday, especially in areas with clear skies and calm winds, allowing for significant radiational cooling. Late week and weekend trends moisture will begin to return from the Gulf on Thursday and Friday, spreading across the Gulf Coast. Meanwhile, areas in the Rockies and the West will remain dry, with California experiencing windy conditions. As the week progresses, colder air will sweep in behind a strong front moving through the northern plains. This could bring snow to parts of Colorado, Kansas, and potentially Nebraska by the weekend. The operational versus ensemble models debate. The operational models are currently showing inconsistencies. For instance, the European model suggests a low pressure system could develop along the front and move northeast, potentially resulting in a significant snowstorm in the northeast. This scenario, however, depends on how pieces of energy interact along the baroclinic zone, the area with a sharp temperature gradient near the Gulf Coast. The ensemble guidance has shown more conservative snowfall chances, particularly in the southeast. Fantasy storms and realistic expectations, earlier model runs hinted at a fantasy storm forming far to the south, exciting many people. However, as I cautioned, those initial runs seemed overly optimistic. The latest ensemble guidance suggests a low chance of snow in South Georgia or Florida, aligning with the broader long-range outlook. Looking ahead, the key takeaway is that a dramatic cold front will push Arctic air into Texas and beyond, with the potential for snow in parts of the plains and Midwest. Whether or not a significant southern snowstorm materializes depends on how the energy along the Gulf interacts with the colder air. As we get closer, we'll have a clearer picture of where the snow will fall and how impactful it will be. Pretty close through the week, there's your snow on Thursday and Friday, along with a reinforcing shot of cold air for the Northeast. Warmer temperatures, by the way, will be felt, and especially across the southern plains. Your cold air starts to move in over the weekend. Now, here's how the GFS is handling that low. It's a little more aggressive. In my opinion, the GFS has a bias for developing low pressure right along the front and then dumping snow behind it. At first, I thought this was what we call an on a front situation, where the front drapes out and a weak area of low pressure rides along it. However, the GFS tries to influence it, phasing it with this system to the west and then dumping significant snow into the northeast as low pressure deepens and cyclogenesis occurs along the northeast coast. I'm not convinced that happens. The GFS doesn't show much development on the south side of this system in the operational run, though it does try to develop something. And there's still a long way to go. Let's zoom in a little closer. There's lake effect snow around the Great Lakes, with several feet of snow possible through Wednesday and Thursday. We finally start to see that ease up a bit, but more snow arrives Friday as a weak system moves through. After that, we might relax a little as our cold front approaches, bringing winds out of the southwest, warmer temperatures, and slightly more stable air. As for what happens next, the jury is still out. Light snow is expected around the Great Lakes through Tuesday, with more arriving Tuesday night and Wednesday. This streak of snow could bring light accumulations from Iowa east to Pennsylvania, as well as into the mountains of West Virginia. Heavy lake effect snow is possible in Pennsylvania, particularly near Erie and places like Dunkirk along Kyo 90, just south of Buffalo. Lighter snow is expected near Rochester, but the Tug Hill Plateau is likely to see significant snowfall. The Upper Peninsula of Michigan will also see heavy snow with lighter amounts across the Lower Peninsula. However, heavy bands could form across the northern Lower Peninsula. Now, let's take a look at temperatures. They'll drop as we head into Tuesday. Out ahead of the front, temperatures will warm up slightly, reaching the 40s across North Carolina and the 50s. However, cold air will move in from the northwest, with temperatures near or below zero on Tuesday morning across parts of Wisconsin. By Wednesday, a high-pressure system will build overhead. Clear skies and snowpack will allow temperatures to drop near or below zero. As the week progresses, we'll see a slight warming trend. By the end of the week, temperatures will rise into the 30s, possibly even the 40s, reaching as far north as Milwaukee, Madison, Ames, Iowa, and even Minneapolis. In the Carolinas and the Deep South, 50s and 60s will return, pushing northward into Missouri. Some snow may finally melt as we head into next week, but it won't last. Any snow that doesn't melt will stick around as temperatures drop back below normal across the plains states. A little bit of light snow is expected along the cold air boundary, which will swing south and bringing light accumulations to northern Illinois and Indiana. This snow will continue moving east as cold, high pressure builds into the central plains before pushing eastward. Finally, moisture will return to Texas by Wednesday, accompanied by a light streak of snow moving from northwest to southeast on Tuesday. Accumulations will be minor, up to an inch in areas like North and South Dakota and central Iowa. We came to the end of the video, guys. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video